I'm going to continue on. The next step would be to take these journal entries and take them to the accounts. Now in this case we just have T accounts without any post-reference numbers, but just keep in mind that if you had real accounts you would be filling these in as we go. If we go to commissions earned and debit it for this amount, let's go back to the T account. Okay, here's our revenue account, and if we debit it for this amount, see how if you subtract the two sides the difference would be 0? This is a closed account. Now I'm just going to take these numbers here and I'm going to just make them yellow to let you know that at this point you could double underline where this yellow is at to show that it's closed. Now where's our credit? Our credit is to the income summary because we're transferring the income to the credit side of income summary. Okay, that's the first journal entry. The second journal entries is to debit income summary for the sum of the expenses. So that's $2,085. This account is not closed. The balance of this account is the difference between these two sides, and that would be a credit balance of $1,812. That's going to be the credit balance. Okay, we're going to go to all the expenses now, and you would go to rent expense and credit it for what it says in the journal, $790. Now this account, the difference between the two sides is 0, so let's just do this to show that you should double underline it. When you credit $381 to supplies expense, it's going to close that account because the difference between the two sides is 0. Let's do this to show that this account is now closed. When we post a credit of $520 to this account, it's making this account go to 0, so it's closed. And we're taking the $276 here to utilities. We're closing that account. And last, looking at your general journal, you would take that $118 to miscellaneous expense. That would close it out. And so we're going to do like that to show that it's closed out. The third thing to do is to close the income summary account. So here's the income summary account. It now has a credit balance. So if we footed this account, the difference would be $1,812, and it would be a credit balance. So in the journal it says to debit income summary for $1,812. If you do this now, do you see how both sides would be equal? This side would, if we added it up or footed it, would be $38.97. And then over here it's the same thing, isn't it? And so with this account now, it's closed off. Okay, so if we bring this down here just to show that it's closed off, we're just going to double underline that, or just, and to show that it's closed. Okay, now we would credit what? We would credit our capital account, because what does net income do to capital? It increases it. When you have a net loss, it decreases capital. When you have a net income, it increases it. So we've debited income summary and credited the capital account. Fourth and final step is to take the $1,800 draw and close it into capital, because drawing is on the minus side of capital. And if we now foot this account, we would have a credit over here, wouldn't we? And the difference between these two sides, when we take this footing here and subtract the $1,800, then our new balance for capital is $82.59. And we can just indicate it like that. So this account is not closed like the other accounts. It's just brought up to date. And this is the same balance here that you would see on your statement of owner's equity and your balance sheet. This is where this number comes from. Okay? When we post the credit to drawing, what happens here? When both sides are equal, the account is closed. So we're going to double rule that to show that that has happened. And I'm going to stop this now.